Hi everyone, in this video you'll see the assembling process of the Ramp Buggy from GTA 5. If the video came out, it means that the project is almost complete and is moving on its way. The series will be released during the shot material editing. I was making this project in parallel with other works. Started in the middle of this summer cause I intended to take part in the gaming contest, which was cancelled for some obvious reasons. Assembled the buggy with an assistant who's likely going to help me with other projects. We worked in a new spacious workshop where almost all my projects will gradually move to, and it'll become the main assembly workshop. Now about the project itself. The main aim of this buggy and the entire project is to try to turn the car over. This means we need to make it not only as similar as possible, but also functional. The ramp will be assembled according to the game 3D model. The designers did their best, and the whole buggy frame was well drawn. We just need to remove some extra details from it. Let's see for the second time already whether it's possible to fully reproduce the 3D model straight out of your head, and whether it will fall apart in real life. To build a frame we'll need an assembly stand which will be made from the shaped tube. I immediately aligned the frame with the laser level and welded the footboards to it. The buggy frame will be assembled with an inch pipe with a wall of 2.8 millimeters. The lower details of the frame will be welded to the assembly stand, thus the frame will be rigidly fixed to it. To connect the pipes I made a special device that seals the ends of the pipes with a crown. The construction is very simple, a drill holder with a shaft and a clamp. As a result, we get a pipe that perfectly joins with another pipe. You can also file the detail at any angle. The base of the front part of the buggy is ready. Now we need to draw the cutting plane lines and measure the location of the following details from them. Further, I measured next frame details in the program. They'll be welded to the lower platform. The pipe is bent at right angles. In order to make it similar, we need to cut part of the pipe at the bend point. Now the frame will grow upwards. I welded the racks to it for this. There'll be crossbars on the racks. We also need to find the middle and center on them with a laser level. After all the racks are ready, the upper platform can be assembled. There are radial corners on the upper platform in the cabin area and on the nose. I bent them with a homemade pipe bender. By the way, it'll be useful for suspension too. It's the maximum angle this pipe can bend. In order to get the right angle, I made several saw-cuts with an angle grinder. The upper platform perimeter is ready. Now I'll make and weld the central elements. We can make a pair at once. In order the angles could coincide, I connected them with a tack. Then I welded the front windows, which eventually will be half covered with steel sheets. I think the review will be very limited due to this. A sharp buggy nose also has a bunch of creases. I'll start from below. It'll be impossible to bend the pipe in one piece, so I conditionally divided the nose into 3 parts. 2 identical parts are on the sides and 1 is in the center. After reaching this point, I noticed a bend of the assembly stand. The seams cool down after welding and begin to pull the metal after them. The assembly stand began to get aside and some racks began to rise above the floor surface. To avoid further bending of frame and assembly stand, I screwed it with anchors to the floor and continued working on the nose. The lower part is ready and can be connected to the upper platform. I also bent the side parts and connected them with racks. The front part is ready and perfectly coincides with the 3D model. I won't strengthen it somehow, this will be done later. Next goes the car cabin. The racks for it should be done at a certain angle. I tried to use such Chinese protractor with quite nice accuracy, but still tried to make the angles with it. Then I measured the racks with a tape measure and put the protractor on the shelf, from which I never took it again. I fixed the measured angles with a pipe. Now it's time for the head frame. I measured the corner and welded it to the upper platform. In order the rear part of the frame didn't hang in the air, I fastened the shaped tube to the floor and connected the frame with it using the racks. Closer to the cab, the upper platform had a small angle which I exactly repeated. After the cab there goes a rear part in with the engine. I welded the frame and connected it to the upper corner of the cabin. Then we need to weld many elements that connected the lower part of the cabin with the rear compartment. There'll be the engine cushions and a rear subframe. At the rear of the frame there are truss constructions. Now there's left to make and weld the rear splashers, and we'll get an exact copy of the Ramp Buggy frame from GTA. The front looks very weak, so I'll strengthen the bottom with crosses so far. The rest will be strengthened after placing of all attachment fittings and control gears on the frame. Now the entire frame needs to be welded. I cut off all the tacks that kept the frame on the assembly stand. As long as the frame is light, it can be easily turned over for convenient welding of joints. I realized that I could no longer cope with electrodes, and the entire frame was welded with semi-automatic welder. By the way, at this moment, I completely switched to MIG welding. There's not much sense to smooth out the semi-automatic seams in such construction, though the seams from electrodes should be smoothed. The frame was spinning until all the seams got welded. It took a bunch of wire and a few gas cylinders. But the result was above all expectations. We managed to accurately copy the Ramp Buggy and transfer it into real life. The buggy frame is ready, which means this video comes to the end. If you enjoyed the idea and the work done, put your likes and subscribe to the channel if not already. See you in the next part about assembling of the whole suspension, which wasn't so easy to reproduce.